Friends, how's it going? We finally crossed the $2,000 a year in dividends mark. It finally happened. It was inevitable. Sometimes these things just take time. But I did switch my plan, as you guys know, taking my foot off the gas a little bit. And because of that, it was slightly delayed. But it was bound to happen at one point or another because we just never changed the strategy. We just never stopped. And that's how it goes, friends. You can start anything in this life, but as long as you just never stop, you just stick to your game plan, you will reach that outcome. Just as I now reached the $2,000 a year in dividends mark, this will eventually be a multi-million-dollar dividend portfolio because the vision, the strategy, it's all one. And as long as you don't stop, just continue, stay the course, which is the hardest part, friends. I definitely understand. But as long as you just do that, it will happen. And that's how growth happens. No matter in what area you try to tackle. It could be financial growth, personal growth, growth in your relationships, trying to grow better inner peace. It doesn't matter. All of it is the same. It's just a matter of how far do you want to go. And once you start, will you stop? And the question has to be answered with the no. Because you can't stop. Because if you truly started this vision of trying to grow a dividend portfolio with the end goal of having something substantial, having a portfolio that's significant, that provides you a passive stream of income that you want to live the life in a better way in the future, don't you stop, my friend. Just continue. And in honor of reaching this $2,000 a year dividend portfolio mark, I just wanted to share, because we are about growth here, about motivation. I just wanted to share a quote by Confucius with you that I think it resonates and has always resonated with me ever since I read it. But the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. And wouldn't you agree, friends? Isn't that how this works? I would say, yeah. You got to start small, see the bigger picture, but incrementally follow those baby steps and don't never stop. I believe in you. But as we make way into this week's video, I was going to initially do my February update, but we hit this mark and I know I wanted to just make a video to emphasize the importance of this, because this is motivational. It's motivational for me. I know a lot of people, or I guess everyone I should say, we all start at zero, but eventually the goal is to build up a passive stream of income that's significant, one that does provide you a good amount of dividends to live off of, or to just give you an addition to your income. I mean, that's why we are dividend investors, right? So it's important every once in a while to just take the time to see how far you've come. And so far, we've come pretty far. And if you've been following this journey for a while, this channel I know has been changing slightly, but I just want you to know and just reassure you that one of the foundational pillars of me is a dividend portfolio. So it doesn't matter what this channel eventually continues to add in terms of motivation and growth and personal development. This dividend portfolio, this dividend series will continue until the end. I will never stop because I want you to see just over time that it is possible to grow a dividend portfolio to be a multi-million-dollar portfolio. But I just want you to know, friends, that it will take time. But if you leverage it and use that time, as it continues to tick, you will reach it. But similar to my monthly updates, given that this is a pretty significant video, I'll also go into a portfolio update, just going into some details of what I do in this portfolio, such as how much do I fund my portfolio and how often. I'll also touch on my sector allocations and percentages. I likely won't go as deep as my monthly videos, but I do just want to touch up on it. And then I'll also share with you my current number of holdings in this dividend portfolio, as well as my portfolio's current dividend yield and my expense ratio. And then I'll end the video with the part that everyone wants to know the most, is how much my dividend portfolio currently pays me in dividends. But we already know that it's $2,000. But once we get to this point in the video, you can see exactly how much. Get that general picture. So here we are currently, friends. In order to have a $2,000 a year dividend portfolio, it took me $66,094.54, and we've continually just done base hit after base hit, never taking a single week off, just systematically over time, automatically, right here on M1 Finance. Been investing every single week. But just to note, this is of course on the all-time view. My gain currently all-time is $7,072.66. And then just to zoom in a little closer here, my return is 21.63%. If you look at the market gain here, it's $4,297. And then from earned dividends, take note this is all time, $2,775.41. I'd show you my week's performance or my year's performance, or maybe my months, but stay tuned for next week's video where I will go more into detail of an actual portfolio review, just like I normally do. This is more of a milestone video, so it'll be slightly different. But just to break it down a little further here, if you've been curious about my pie, you want to take a look at it, what I have in it, there's always a link in my description box down below. M1 Finance does a nice job of just having a shareable link. I always attach it to my description box. You can always click on that, take a look, and see what exactly it is that I'm holding. I know when I personally started my dividend portfolio, it was always nice to get ideas of what other people were holding. And I didn't necessarily do the exact same moves, but it just gives you a general sense of what type of holdings to hold and what type of sectors to have and things like that. So if you're curious, take a look down below. But as far as my current sectors, I have them starting at 13%, which is the biggest at real estate. Consumer staples follows at 12%. I also have tech set at 10%. My ETF set at the same. My index fund set at the same. And then I also have utilities here, financials, industrials. And as you can see, it's all going in pretty much chronological order of percentage allocation for each sector, continually going down. Here we are now in healthcare at 7%, communications at 5% of the portfolio, energy at 3%, and then my consumer discretionary at 1%. And I always share it because why not? It's just one. It's McDonald's in here. And just to touch upon how much do I fund this portfolio. So currently every single week I fund $100, but it didn't start this way. I used to invest $500 every single week, trailing back to the point when I first started this portfolio, back on July 20th of the year 2020. I kept funneling it at a very quick rate, and I did that for almost 2 years, or practically 2 years. So that's what led to the big increase in portfolio size. I mean, obviously going $100 every week wouldn't get me to this stage in the game, but just for a little background in case you haven't been following this journey since the beginning. But I did that change because more recently, I want to start actually increasing a cash fund to invest into real estate. And then just to take a little peek over here, let me show you my actual holdings. Or before we get there, let me just share with you my cost basis. So I know as we saw, the portfolio size itself is $66,000, but my overall cost basis, the amount of money that I pushed into this portfolio, is $61,591.24. And as you can see here, there's a peak of 51 positions, but let me show you over here instead. So this is a slightly better chart. As you can see, it's the Jesse's cash flow portfolio still. And in here, you can see I do have 51 holdings. And as far as my current dividend yield, it's 3.048%, which is a good amount. I want it anywhere between, let's say 2.8, maybe 3.2%. So 3.048, I'm totally content with that. And as far as my expense ratio, it is 0.01%. What I always say is I don't like giving away any more money than I need to. I also enjoy having my own portfolio that I personally manage over time. Sure, if I give it to somebody else to manage for me, maybe it'll make me more money, but there's some component of this that I do enjoy, doing it freely on my own. And I think some people out there would agree with that. But otherwise, if you let someone else manage it, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. And now for the part of the video that, you guys want to see. This is my receipt, I guess you guys could say, for transparency. So here we are now in the Div Tracker app. As you can see, it's pretty accurate here at $66,094, give or take a penny, which is totally fine. But the Div Tracker app, it's a paid app in the App Store. I have no affiliation with them. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I just have been using this app since the very beginning of me trying to track my dividends. And I just haven't decided to switch it. I mean, there's really been no need. But as you can see here, it breaks it down by composition. You can see VIG and SPYD are my top, and then O and everything under is about 3.3 and under. which is how I do like to have my portfolio set up. I don't want anything to be more than 4%. So anything 3.3% and under is pretty good. SPYD and VIG, well, they're index funds or ETFs. So them as a standalone, they're very diversified. So, no concerns there. And then you can kind of go into your stock holdings down below, things like that. As for my overview, here it is. You can see my annual dividend income for a portfolio size of $66,094.54 is $2,000 or $2,006.88. And we hit it, friends. There is the proof. My monthly breakdown is $167.24. My daily breakdown is more than enough to cover some Starbucks, $5.50. And on here it says a dividend yield of 3.25%, which is slightly more than M1 Finance, but I always think it's somewhere in between. There's always that slight discrepancy between the app and M1 Finance, but that's okay. Anywhere within that range is totally fine with me. But friends, this is it. The next mark that I'm looking forward to is $2,500. And let's just see, because it says I 100% reached this goal, but let's go ahead and update it. Let's enter a new goal, 2,500 annual goal. Done. So it says I'm 80% reached here, and it says if I invest $15,000 or $15,133 at my current portfolio's yield, I would reach this goal. So friends, when we get closer to the $80,000 mark, we'll be at $2,500 annual dividend income, and we'll hit it. It'll be inevitable once again, and continue to stay the course. That's what this is all about, friends. And as you can see by my channel name, if you've been following me for a while, I'm a big proponent of trying to leverage time. Use it to your advantage in every way possible. As long as you have good daily habits, continue to make good choices for yourself, for personal growth, for financial growth, for relationships, everything. It doesn't necessarily matter. The outcome will be a good one. I guarantee you. And I'm trying to prove that to myself, to the YouTube community here, to just people that watch over time. I want to be a living example that if you just leverage time and use it appropriately, an outcome or the outcome you will achieve will be success. And through that, it's just a matter of how far you want to go. But that's going to be it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed some of this transparency of reaching this milestone mark here of $2,000 a year in dividends. I'll see you on next week's video with the February update. And as always, friends, just continue on your path. Continue to stay consistent. That consistency will lead to progress, and that progress will lead to results. See you on the next one, friends.